Hello everybody, this is the 99th episode of my FM15 series, the Chesterfield of Dreams, and now I entered the knockout phase of the Europa League for the second year in a row, and my challenge for this year is the Italian side Cagliari. So let's just take a quick look at them before we browse on our league season. And so far they're an up and down team, constantly all over the place. They've only been promoted a few years ago after being relegated at least twice, so it's fascinating to see how they're getting on. But this year they've fallen to 11th place. They're in a very poor run, and we really should be winning this kind of game. You can see they've only beaten Palermo in their last 10 or so, and that's absolutely ridiculous. Like, they've even lost to a team called Avellino, which is very poor. That's in the qualifying round of the cup, so I don't know what on earth has gone wrong with them. But they did qualify out of a group with Dordrecht from Holland, CSK Moscow and Sporting Lisbon, so they must be somewhat decent, but they play a risky 4-2-3-1, or not 4-2-3-1, a 3-5-2. Yeah, there it is, 3-5-2 formation, and that could be something that falls into my hands quite handily. But my reward for potentially qualifying from this round is a match against Arsenal or Cannes. So that's not what I wanted to see. I was knocked out by Chelsea last year, and that could have made the difference between a great run in the cup and then being knocked out. So I really don't want to have to play Arsenal. It won't be good playing a familiar team. They'll want to win it just as badly. But things are not going well on my side of the coin either, because we are 9th in the Premier League. Despite a game in hand that could lift us all the way to 4th, we've been wasting our opportunities in recent times. We've only won 9 times in 24. That's very, very bad. I know it's not the end of the world, because the other teams above us have only won 11 times, but it's just very, very poor that we're not winning our games, and we're starting to lose, which is even more worrisome. So you look at the home record, it's still dreadful. I don't know what's wrong. We're only winning 3 out of 11 home games, and it's just getting out of hand. The away record, though, it's top drawer, to say the least. We're among the top clubs in the country for that, but it's just very, very strange what's going on. So when I left you, it was this halfway point of the season against Hull, and we lost very, very badly by 3-0. They were dominant, they deserved the win, and yada yada yada. We just didn't turn up. Like, I know they had their chances at a premium, but they took 3 out of 4 of their shots on target, whereas we got none of our 13 shots in total, and that's not good enough. And then against Newcastle, we gave ourselves a massive chance, scoring at half time thanks to Philip Meyer, who's only come back from injury now actually. He gave us a big goal, and what do? We concede a goal in the 49th minute, and then I'm desperate to take the win here against one of our our rival clubs, to say the least. We have a big rivalry with Newcastle, and then Wayne Vahid got a brace in the last 10 minutes, so that wrecked any chances we had. And then, even more embarrassingly, the one team I could never beat in the Championship, Rotherham, held us to a 1-1 draw in the FA Cup. They got a penalty in the 85th minute, totally undeserved, but that got them a replay, and I was like, can I ever beat these guys? I'll never know. And they even ended up injuring Henrik Gulden, but it was by accident, so these things happen. But we did deserve to win that game, and we failed to do so. And at home to Watford, a bore goalless draw, which wasted another home opportunity. But at least in the cup, we got our act together. We thrashed them 3-0 thanks to 3 second half goals, and that finally buried the hatchet we had with Rotherham. And then against Chelsea, I had an extraordinary time of it here. I tried a new formation thanks to a new signing I brought in, who I'll talk about in a minute. But instead of having 4-2-3-1 with an attacking midfielder, I brought in a defensive midfielder, and it seemed to work an absolute treat. But let's just break this game down very quickly. Danny Agustin gave him the lead in the 7th minute. Tomas Forza made it 1-1. Juan Fretes for 2-1. Then Tomas Forza 2-2. Then Shabala made it 3-2 at half time. So barnstorming first half. Then Godwin Azuka for 3-3. And then Tomas Forza with a leaping header to complete a hat-trick gave us the win at Lampard Park. That was just one of the games of the season, really, and it's a shame I wasn't in the mood to live comment. And then what do we do next game? We lose meekly to Liverpool. Like, it's at home as well. It's just crazy what's going on. You can see they took an early lead. I told them, you have to be careful, guys, do not do anything stupid. And then they ended up doing a terrible back pass to the goalkeeper, and Roger Martinez tapped home. Philippe Coutinho made sure of the points in the 85th minute, but Yair Messa, who's on a bit of a goal drought, got one back, but it wasn't enough. And then the game that could have got us into the FA Cup quarter-finals ended terribly as Sunderland beat us by 2 clear goals at home. So the FA Cup is no longer in our reach. So it's a Manchester derby to decide who plays Sunderland next. Then Reading, Watford, Brighton, Arsenal, Chelsea, Bolton. So it feels like an eternity since we had that final. But at least it still happened. But we really want to win the FA Cup twice, if possible, just to make sure of everything. So before we get into the live com, let's meet in the new transfers. Out of the club has gone Linus Muller. He's off to Manchester United, and he has actually played a cup game for them, so that's really cool, but unfortunately he's injured. Sean Kavanagh is off to Barnsley. He's obviously getting to a retirement age, and unfortunately my Hall of Famer had to say goodbye. And then I was trying to get rid of Sam Zand as well, but unfortunately he couldn't find a new club. So let's see what I've done. Let's begin with the director of football transfer, and this one is for the future. His name is Jovica Vasic from Serbia, and he cost a pretty hefty sum. Actually, didn't know, just 350,000 euros for this player. A bargain, to say the least. Look at some of these core stats. With the dribbling at 17, first touch 16, crossing 15, pace at 15, and acceleration and technique also at 15. So we have an absolute bargain on our hands here, and hopefully he reaches his full potential as soon as possible, because we are lacking left midfielders, and I'm delighted that we got him on such a cheap fee, and he could even be homegrown. And then speaking of homegrown players, I certainly overspent on Mark Davies, but I just felt Manchester United, they were probably going to consider giving him a new contract, so I was like, I may as well take him now. He's been at the club long enough, and he's been at a good enough age. So even though I spent nearly 17 million on him, some of those are installments, so it's not too bad. I just feel he is a player for the future, and perhaps he hasn't scored enough goals for me, but that's pretty much a critique of his game. We can get him shooting in the league, but we have to give him more starts. And then speaking of the new defensive midfielder, here he is from Ajax. Sergio Vigliano has come in to be a long-term replacement for Rasmus Stephenson, and his league rating isn't so good at the minute, but he has been very good against Sunderland. It just didn't work out for us in that game, but he was very good against Chelsea, not so much against Liverpool. But here is his history. He went to Ajax for 3.5 million euros, and I brought him in for nearly 5 million euros. So he's the kind of player we needed, because we didn't have enough ball-winning midfielders in the team. But he's got some very, very good stats. Just the bravery is the one that lets him down. But at 24 years of age, he should definitely be in the club for the long term. But look at his value. That's very, very good. And his wages are low, which is even better. So let's just comment on my starting 11 before we head into the match screen. Injuries to Mohamed Abdullah Brahim Ahmed. It's so bad. It's a broken leg. So I took him out of the Premier League squad and replaced him with Vigliano, and Sam Zand as well. I've unregistered him so I can bring in, I think it was Ashley Watson, I forget. But either way, Sam Zand will only be playing in cup tournaments anymore, and Ahmed's career at Chesterfield is over. I will be selling him at the end of the season due to that leg injury. And Henrik Gilden, as you saw, has still been injured, but it's still for another 2 to 3 weeks. Philip Meyer is coming back from injury. Chris Jones also trying to fight his long-term injury. We'll get him back soon. And this is my rotated team. Tom Bertram sits on the bench as he's still not fully fit. Godwin Azuka played a few days ago, so he's my only left midfielder who's playable. And then I have a strong defence. It's still rotated though, with Brian Lenihan at right back. Then Callum Cook has to play ball-winning defender. Brian Boring alongside Ashley Watson. I'll probably bring him backwards. to be an attacking midfielder support. And then Yara Messa, hopefully his goal drought will be well and truly over. You can see it's very, very bad after his phenomenal run not too long ago, such as the hat-trick there, 2 goals there, 2 goals there, 1 goal there. It just got out of hand for him. And now let's head into the match screen. See you in a minute. Now let's take a look at their lineup and pretty much forget about that 3-5-2 prediction. They've actually gone for a standard 4-4-2. They must know that I'm a threat, being a Premier League team and all. But they do have some good players. But we'll have to go into the opposition screen to know just how good. So their goalkeeper from Austria getting on a bit, but he's still got fantastic ratings. The right midfielder, Caio Rangel, is a very, very good player again. He's getting old, but he's got 4-star ability. Fabio Castellano could be a weak point at just 2.5-star ability, but that could be inaccurate because some of those stats look great. Didier Coffey from the Ivory Coast looks okay. He could be a danger for certain. And another good finisher, 31 years of age, is Michael Ohana. So they do have some good players, but they're underperforming in the Serie A. So let's try and exploit that in their indoor stadium. They've actually managed to build one. And let's turn on the noise. It is quite loud actually. I'll sort that out behind the scenes for you. So one moment. Right. Here we go. They seemed a bit mixed feelings about that. I need a good result to take home. I really, really need this, but Callum Cook seems to disagree. He's confused as to why we need a good result away from home. But I'm sorry, my friend, you'll need to change your mind as soon as possible. Get the negativity out of your mind and see what we can do. So we'll just change 1 or 2 things around there in the instructions. Turn on the sounds again. That's a little nicer on the ears. So let's bring the noise and kick off. There we go. It's the home team to get that advantage, and they're going straight for the attack with Caio Rangel, but Brian Boring gives it straight back to him, and Ohana tries to go for goal, but Ben Boletta has dealt with the danger there. And it's certainly a bad start for Chesterfield, but now we have our own highlight here. Stephen Kinsella, our number 7, goes for Yara Messa in the box, but his weakness is probably his aerial game, and that's why he didn't get a good connection on that. Cagliari go wide with a free kick. We need more passion if possible. Here's Asuka's set piece, gets the ball back from the header and shoots wide himself. Unlucky, but now we've Kinsella again. Ben Boletta somehow keeps it in. Brian Boring, Yara Messa strikes a defender with his shot, but it was very, very good blocking and marking from Cagliari. But this is an exciting game so far. Asuka gets his shot on goal. That's saved by Stankovic. Well done to the Austrian. That's whipped in, cleared. Brian Lenihan gets the ball back. Boring, Watson, Cook, Asuka, offside. We'll go control for a little bit. I think we are in the better form here. We might go more expressive just to match our fluidity. So demand more, I say. We're getting there, guys. We just need the away goal. If you can get it. Here's another free kick, but it's poor. It's more of a scuff at that shot. He didn't get it to curl and dip, but it's it's a first half that's lacking in clinical play. But unfortunately, we've one last highlight to go. May is on a yellow card, and just as I say, it's going very, very wrong here, and Ohana has broken the deadlock. So commentator's curse, 1-0, and Rob May on a yellow card can you'll have to take some of the blame. That's not good enough. Giving the ball away so cheaply, and now we'll have to rescue our situation. Do we go for a goal to give us an advantage, or do we try and keep it at 1-0 just to avoid any further humiliation? But as things stand, I am not happy. 3 defeats in a row staring us blindly in the face, and it's just not good enough. So let's try and make our 99th episode a happy one by getting 2 goals and winning this game from a losing position. And Didier Coffey has gone down injured, so they're going to bring on Valiero Trani, and Valiero Trani is injured as well. Oh my god, that could be the changing of this match. Extraordinary. Like, he barely just came on. I didn't have time to react. Just 2 minutes for the substitute. That's crazy. Now they've got Carrasco as their second substitution already. That's just terrible luck. I'd hate that to happen to me. So I have one substitute left, and they're going to have to choose wisely here. But now let's go for the attack. Try and catch them while they're reeling. So we have to get creative. See if we can catch them out. Here's our corner from Azuka. Given away. Rob May. Straight at the keeper. He could have put his laces through it and it would have been 1-1. But now we'll have to make our substitution ourselves. What can we do? Who's not playing well? Brian Boring is an obvious standout, as Yaro Mesa as well. We'll give him one last chance. We'll make him deep lying forward, see if he can get more involved in the play. I think Brian Boring has to come off. He's not been good. Sam Zand will have to play there. He's my only option. Yeah, he's not suited for that position. No, I think I'll just put Watson back and play Sam Zand where he's used to. We'll put him as an attacking midfielder, attack, and that'll make more sense. I think we just need something to change. Brian Boring's skills have definitely deteriorated in recent years. I think we need to spare Godwin Azuka for one match. He's already played a full 90 minutes. So Tom Bertram, you get your chance, and we'll save Mark Davies for later. See if we need to get a second striker on the pitch or take off a disappointing Mesa, who's been absolutely stupendous from day one in his career. But this is just one of those low phases. So time to push forward. We need a goal, and we need it fast. Who's going to get it for me? Here's Bembo Letza from a throw-in. Yairo Mesa! Oh my god. A throw-in, Yairo. Come on. Terrible. I think he has come off. That's punishment. You cannot be that bad, Yairo. Get a grip, mate. So unfortunately that's the end of my captain's game. And Mark Davies will have 13 minutes, or 17 minutes, sorry, to make a hero of himself. Can he do it? He's scored a few times in this competition, but we have to go control. I don't want to overdo it now, but we're all over them this half. It's Cook to Reeves, Samzan Kinsella, saved by Stankovic. We've been all over them all game. We have not scored. What is our problem, guys? What is it? Oh, Jesus. Callum Cook, mate. Come on. This is not how I want to bow out with the Europa League. We do not deserve this. Come on. Oh, Kirakesh off the line. Kinsella with a break. Davies is onside. Great tackle by Cagliari. Kinsella cleared only as far as Cook. Zand. Oh, our shooting is appalling. 4 minutes to rescue this game. Rob May says thank you very much. Davies, route 1. Oh, jeezy Mac. What the hell is this? What the hell is this? My God, I've never seen shooting so bad from Chesterfield. Like, even in League One you weren't that bad. Come on. Give me a rest here, guys. Terrible shooting on show this evening in Italy. And we can only get punished. Frank Reeves breaks for an interception. Bertram to Davies. Good tackle by Kirakesh. Castellano. Massey in defence. Goes all the way to Carrasco. Rob May. Now he breaks ranks to help out the team. Bertram is unmarked. He has one chance and one chance only. And just contrast to my luck, that was well wide again. This is unbelievable. Carrasco blocked. A minute and a half to go here. Tom Bertram loses possession. Letza. Here he goes, bursting forward. Oh, he's let go here. Cavallani has a chance. Oh no. It's Ohana again. Oh dear. This is going to require a miracle, guys. Oh my God. This is crisis mode here. Very bad. Like, we're not expected to do anything in Europa League, but that performance, that was shambolic. Absolutely shambolic. I cannot believe that. Like, how did we mess that up so poorly? Now, what do we do? Look at those stats. Mohana deserves man of the match for taking his chances at the end of both halves. Unbelievable. And we have a real fight in our hands here. A team which can barely win in Serie A has torn us to shreds and can have gotten a 1-1 draw out of Arsenal, but that was in France. So I expect the Gunners to turn that in their favour in London. So I am absolutely aghast at what I've just witnessed. I'm sure you guys are the same. But episode 100 is going to have to be this home game. I've no other way of putting it, guys. We must win that game. It's only a week away, and we'll have to turn everything on its head. Like, we have to defend better because we're conceding too many goals, but we're not scoring any goals. So that completely changes my focus and everything. Yeah, so as I say, that was an absolute shambles of a performance. It's my fault for pushing forward at the wrong times, but I've never seen Chesterfield play so badly. This is just outrageous. We've been knocked out of the Premier League top 4 battle for now. We've been knocked out of the FA Cup, and now we risk Europa League elimination. After all my effort of getting into the tournament in the first place, we could be gone inside a week. Like, we were all conquering in our group stage. We hardly put a foot wrong, and now we're in this position. It just doesn't get any worse, and I don't know why this is happening. But we'll come back for episode 100 in this tense European game. We must score twice without conceding to stand any chance. And if you believe in me, then put it in the comments. But I'm very sorry that went so pear-shaped. But we'll see you for episode 100 as soon as possible. Cheerio, everybody.